The weekly RPA meeting is a sit-down meeting. It's where you're going through the results of the previous meeting, the progress according to the targets and so on that you've had, and the actions that are to be taken. So you must follow the structure of this because it's critical that you are checking in on the actions from the previous week. So the structure is, to an extent, or the rules are, follow the structure. Solutions must always accompany problems. You cannot be sitting in these meetings and be bombarded with solutions. If somebody's continually bombarding you with problems without solutions, you need to get back and retrain them on the principle of no problem presented without a solution. So it's a constructive attitude, no blame, and always ask the one thing. Watch the additional video on the one thing to see what that means. You will always want to be checking last week's actions first. So last week you will have this filled out from the previous week, either online or on paper. Choice is yours. People will either have done what they said they were going to do or have made progress according to what the timings were, and this is a binary done or not done. Your principle behind this needs to be you don't have time for long-winded excuses. Is it done or is it not done? If it's consistently not done by that individual, and you help in every way that you can, through coaching, through better training, through maybe tweaking layout, through maybe fixing equipment, then eventually you have to shift through to the disciplinary process. So if people are not doing what they say, this meeting is about catching that before it gets out of hand. You must always leave with actions, deadlines, and who is responsible, because I say that's how you start the meeting. And you always want to have at least one menu, merchandising, people, promote, or process test to report on. So effectively, our core results are the financial results. You can increase, you can add to this very easily yourself, add more on, but at your core, these are the four main figures that we're looking at. What were the net sales versus last year, last week, and then this week? Your average transaction value, your gross profit percentage, your wage cost percentage, and your overall contribution to overhead, i.e. the profit that you've got after that you've taken off your cost of sales and after you've taken off your wage cost to go towards the rent rates and your general overhead. You can decide to do full open book accounting and put in a full weekly profit and loss, but at the very least, that's what you want there. Now, your comment section is where you are reporting as to whether you are up, down, or hit the targets or whatever. But you just want to be having some form of an ongoing record of these, of the progress that you're making. This is results, progress, and actions. So if this net sales are down, you want to be recording, and by all means you can put in more rows to give more data for all of this, but comments as to why it's down, what's going to happen, what you're going to do to try and improve it. Then we move to our 52 test data results. And the 52 tests, you can have, obviously again, you can have more rows here depending on what you're testing, but at the very least what you want to be having is excuse me, the very least you want to be looking at the tests that you've made on your menu, merchandising, people, promoter, process. For example, you might have made a menu test and you want to know the results. If you've made a change or a tweak to signage or merchandising, you want to be recording the results. Then what you want to do is work out what you are rejecting. Are you going to tweak? Are you going to implement and expand? And then here, again, we are putting in what the results are from that. So for example, you might have put a new special in the menu based upon a particular item that the customers had been consistently saying that they wanted, and that will either have fallen completely flat, in which case you reject it. It may have done okay, but you tweak it and adjust how the staff are maybe talking about it, how it's merchandised, how it's displayed in the menu. Or it's a home run, and therefore you want to be trying to implement it and put it in on a more regular basis. So that's what you want to be trying to do, and again, you can expand this depending upon the amount of tests that you do, but at the very least, every week you must have one of your menu, merchandising, people, and promote change being made or a process change being made, so that you can look at how you're continually reviewing progress forward. That's what this is about. You then want to go through all of your reviews, the number of positive, the number of negative for the core platforms you may want to put more on. You want to look at that, and you want to look whether there were responses to that and any actions that need to be taken. In other words, if you have a specifically bad review on Google that actually you put your hands on the heart and do the full-blown honesty thing and think, yep, that was a good call. What was the action that was taken? Or what is the action that needs to be taken? Does the customer need to be contacted properly? Same thing for all the channels. Then you look at your socials. You want to be looking at the number of, on your Facebook, you want to be looking at the number of followers that you've got, the posts that have gone out, the saves and the shares, the comments and the likes, because you want this shows the level of engagement that you've got, and you want to be working out off the back of this what you want to do more of, because you'll be able to look at the posts and be analyzing each post and going, that one worked or that didn't work, so we'll be doing more of those and we'll be doing less of these. Same thing for Instagram, same thing for TikTok, but you're also you might also be using YouTube, and you want to be looking at perhaps, you might not be using TikTok at all, but you also then want to be always coming back to the one thing. Make sure you check out the video on the one thing. What one big decision can be made? Now, you're not going to do this in great depth each week, but keep asking it. Is there something you can be doing that will make it all the next week much easier to hit these targets? And then we come back to the bottom with, what are the actions that people are going to do? Who is going to do them? And when are they going to do them by? Because that's your starting point for the following week. So that is your weekly RPA meeting. You sit down with the key people involved. That might be a manager, supervisor, it might be multiple managers, it might be chefs, it might be front of house. It's anybody that has any involvement in this and is going to be part of the actions. It doesn't need to be long. It certainly shouldn't be longer than an hour, but that depends a lot upon the size and the structure of your business. So again, this is all about this cadence of information and making sure that you are progressing. It's the results from the previous week, the progress according to what you wanted to try and do, and the new actions that you are then taking to try and maintain that progress.